Steve Harvey was the other person who spoke on the night of the first day, and that was super impactful for me. I don't think he really said anything new. Me and Steven have both heard him talk about it, and I have even said I really want to help people find their gifts, but just the way that he framed it and put the importance on it, and really was if you're passionate about what you're doing, go all in on that. Don't be afraid or think about the consequences. Make sure you're okay. Don't just go out and quit your job and be I'm doing this now. But if that's what you're passionate about, that's what should consume you almost. You should feel drawn to doing what you're passionate about. And me and Steven both talked about
well, I just want to talk about, he kind of told his story also. Yeah. He was doing a lot of things. He was struggling, not making any money. Someone saw that he was funny and started asking him to write some jokes for him. Then a while after that, invited him to the comedy club that he was performing and said, oh, you should go up there. Then he told a really funny story, but he said he cried the whole way home because he finally found his gift. He felt like he was bouncing around in life, and then it was God provided him an outlet for his gift. He was funny, and then he used it. At the time when he was doing comedy, there was no money in it, but he was so passionate about it that he just kept doing it and knew that at one point he'll be able to turn this into a profitable venture. I think that's what we're super passionate about, is helping people find their gifts. I almost feel kind of the same way coming back from the 10X. I didn't cry, but I finally felt oh, this is our gift. Teaching and helping people and what we've been doing, we now finally have a proper outlet for this and have seen other people do it at a higher level, so now we have something to aspire to. I think that's what impacted me with all the presenters, was just oh, these guys are all doing it on a high level. I feel like I can also do that.
Yeah, no, just them talking about their gift, and all of them were really passionate and talked about the lives that they were impacting. Because it was a business conference, they talked about the money behind it as well, but a lot of them were we're impacting this many people, we're impacting this many families, and that was really eye-opening to me of oh yeah, we are having an impact on people. It's not just, hey, we want to help you make some extra income. It's hey, if we can help you make this extra income, that's actually going to positively impact your life. So that was really cool to see. And just a reminder of that's what we're trying to do with all of this. It can maybe get lost in all the noise of us trying to schedule things out, and our day-to-day lives are pretty busy now. But just remembering we're doing all of this, and our purpose for it is to help you guys find the gifts. We think merch is fantastic, or print on demand in general is fantastic, because it allows you to use abilities that you don't necessarily get to use other places, especially from your creative side. I've been doing art and freelance for a really long time, and it's never been easier to monetize that stuff than through print on demand. Just talking the last couple of days with a graphic design buddy who's now getting really amped up about this idea. Now that we have our teaching kind of compartmentalized a little bit better, I'm opening up to some of my friends who are artists and be here's a full training to help you get started on this. It's not going to answer all your questions, but it's really going to give you a good jump start into what we're doing, and just seeing their eyes open to this opportunity. There's so many awesome ways inside of print on demand to use your gifts, whether you're a salesperson, whether you like data and analytics, whether you're doing art. It's just a really good outlet for all that stuff, and it's a free opportunity to get into, so it just seems like a perfect fit for a lot of people to start using their gift. And that's why we're so passionate about teaching on print on demand. It's not necessarily we think this is the end all be all for business, everyone in business should be doing this. It's just
there's a ton of opportunities with this. Yeah. I think you're super passionate about helping and even partnering, and that's something that we haven't really touched on, but I feel now we have a clearer vision of how to lay a solid base so that we can build off of it. I think last year we tried a lot of things, but they didn't quite turn out the way that we wanted, and now I think a lot of people in this group have helped us to see we need an entry point for people. We need a place where we can kind of bring them along instead of just going, I hope you saw the last 30 hours of content that we did, because you're going to be completely lost now if you hear us talk, and just that realization.
Well, and that, and if this isn't your gift, if this isn't your passion, it's going to be a really hard road. The amount of stuff that we're having to do for this business before, and figuring out where the balance of is working on this thing that we're passionate about and working on our actual business that's paying the bills is a really interesting dynamic that we're trying to figure out. But if we weren't passionate about teaching and making sure that we're pushing through and trying to figure out the best way to deliver content to people, we would have dropped this a long time ago. We say this a lot of if we're not into something, if we don't like doing it, it's just not going to get done. That's our personalities. So something like this that we are really passionate about and we do really care about, we're just trying to keep increasing the quality that we're doing it at, and the value that you guys can actually get out of it. So
yeah, and you said something, I think maybe even before we went to this event, where you said, I want to help people at least start to make some extra money so they have some extra time so that they can try to find or use their gifts. And I was like, that's very interesting. I think that's why we like merch so much right now to start, because it is a very low, no cost way to get into something that you can start generating some income that you can then hand off like we did to other people, and then start finding out what else you like and your gifts, and then try to build that into your business. I kind of feel like that's what happened to us. I don't think we're passionate about print on demand or passionate about merch, but it did use both of our skills and freed up a lot of time, and then gave us enough money to now do a lot of things and try out what we like. We would not have been able to do this, any kind of teaching anything, this group or anything, if we didn't find out how to make money with merch to give us our time back.
Yeah, that is really impactful. And just thinking about all the people in this group that I've talked to, of like, that's kind of where they're at with it too. Either they like love doing art and they just want a way to monetize it, or they're willing to put in the time into this print on demand thing so they can get some of their time back. Help pay off some of the bills that they have, so they can have time to figure out what their gift is, or if they already know what their gift is and they just don't have time to like exercise that, then figuring out this business, handing it off to VAs, which is like our ultimate goal that we want to help you guys do. Then you get your time back and you can really use your gift, how you want to, and grow inside of that. So that's really exciting for us to think about, and just feeling more passionate after hearing all of these people speak, but especially Steve Harvey, like talking about his gift and how impactful it was for him just to like, oh, this is my gift, let me go all in on this, like whatever I have to do to make this work. And that's kind of where we're at. Like, we want to help you guys do whatever you have to do to figure out how to work with your gift.